हार्डली मे बी 20s वगैरह में होंगे. ही वॉज मैरिड बाय देन, शिला प्रभुपाद जिनके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, राइट. तो उस समय मैरिड थे, लेकिन उनका एक फ्रेंड था कोई नरेंद्र, और ये काफी पायस फैमिली से थे. सो बिकॉज ऑफ बीइंग अ वेरी पायस फैमिली, ही साधु आते थे घर पे, काफी लोग आते थे, ऐसा सब आना जाना लगा रहता था. बंगाल में रहते थे, कैलकाटा में बॉर्न थे, और इनको थोड़ा अब यंग एज में इनके मन में था कि मैं स्वतंत्रता, लाइक यू नो, आई विल डू फ्रीडम फाइट एंड ऑल दैट. ही वाज फ्रॉम द सेम कॉलेज जहां पर सुभाष चंद्र बोस जो थे, इनके 1-2 साल सीनियर थे. So he had that zeal of freedom fighting, like at that time boys must be having. So जब एक बार एक साधु आया वहां पे, जिनका नाम था भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती. तो आप जो फोटोज देख रहे हो ना, नीचे जो एक फोटोज लगी हुई हैं, आप उसमें देखोगे एक श्रील प्रभुपाद की फोटो है सबसे पहले, राइट. और उसके बाजू में एक और है पर्सन जो उनके गुरु हैं, फिर उनके गुरु, फिर उनके गुरु, फिर उनके गुरु, ऐसे इसको परंपरा कहते हैं. ठीक है. तो वो जो बाजू में उनके, उनका नाम है भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर. और ही वाज अ वेरी लर्नेड मैन आल्सो, मतलब काफी पढ़े लिखे थे. सब कुछ पढ़ने के बाद, सब करने के बाद ही डिसाइडेड टू टेक संन्यास. उनकी कहानी फिर कभी, लेकिन जब वो आए थे वहां पर, व्हेन ही वाज देयर, सो इनके फ्रेंड ने बोला, उनके फ्रेंड का नाम था नरेंद्र, तो उसने बोला कि एक्चुअली बड़े अमेजिंग साधु आए हुए हैं, चलो मिल के आते हैं. तो इन्होंने बोला मुझे इतना ना फेथ नहीं है, मतलब साधु वगैरह कुछ अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ बुरे होते हैं. आई हैव सीन सो मेनी ऑफ साधुस, आई डोंट हैव दैट मच फेथ. ही सेड नो नो, दिस इज अ वेरी डिफरेंट पर्सन, यू शुड विजिट वंस. चलते हैं, देख के आते हैं. ही सेड ठीक है, चलो चलते हैं. So he went with him. I mean, you know, that early age. When he went there, he was sitting. This person was sitting. First time he entered, and this person told him, like, you know, you are a very learned man. ऐसे खुद से, and you know, you are a very educated, well-educated person who knows English and things like that. आप भागवत धर्म का प्रचार जाके बाहर वालों को क्यों नहीं करते? Why don't you spread this knowledge about भागवत धर्म to outside people in the world? Okay. This person was shaken up. I mean, like, you know, come on, first time I'm meeting this guy, he's telling me like this. So he said कि देखिए अभी भारत आजाद नहीं है, इस देश को आजादी की जरूरत है, तो थोड़ा एफर्ट डालेंगे, पहले भारत को आजाद करेंगे. Once the country is freedom, like, you know, there's a freedom we achieve, 15th August आ रही है, so then we will basically do this thing, right? ये तो होता ही रहेगा, इसका क्या है. So he said, see, this is how you think about it. आपको लगता है कि भारत आज अंग्रेजों के कारण फंसा हुआ है, इसलिए कुछ हो नहीं रहा. अच्छा, आप देखना जिस दिन आजादी मिल जाएगी ना, उस दिन ये हिंदुस्तानी लोग ही भारत को मैनिपुलेट करेंगे, लाइक यू नो, उनके चंगुल में फंस जाएगा भारत. सो नथिंग विल चेंज. ही सेड ऐसा का वैसा ही रहेगा, कुछ चेंज नहीं होगा. ओके, इट्स गोइंग टू बी द सेम. हम लोगों की इटर्नल प्रॉब्लम है. ही सेड दैट वी आर अ सोल एंड वी नीड दैट फ्रीडम. ओके, वी आर एंटेंगल्ड इन दिस वर्ल्ड एंड वी आर सफरिंग इन दिस वर्ल्ड, एंड दिस नॉलेज हैज टू बी स्प्रेड टू द एंटायर वर्ल्ड. It's a very important knowledge. Nothing will change whether you get freedom or not. So this conversation and some conversation he had with him at that time had a lot of impact. I mean, it transformed him. He said he came back, he thought about it, he decided to basically become his disciple. Okay, he took initiation from him, and and that conversation, what was told to him कि आप जाइए बाहर, like कुछ करिए. Now that young person, and then he got a job in Allahabad, which was very far from Calcutta. So he moved there, but the conversation that happened, it stayed with him. उन्होंने इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट करनी शुरू की बुक्स, भगवत गीता, श्रीमद् भागवत, ऐसे ट्रांसलेट किया. Entire life he made sure, at the same time he didn't become a sadhu. He made sure that he actually basically takes care of his family, takes care of the business. He actually had a factory of chemical factory and things like that at the later point, but he made sure he takes care of the family, but also stays to the focus of what was given to him. And he only met his guru because his guru was like a sannyasi, so he had like lot of disciples, so sannyasis, brahmacharis, and this kind of people were there. This person was a grahastha. He met him hardly 11 times in his entire life, and every time he met him, something was told to him, like, you know, like for example, once he met him, he said see, his guru was very frustrated because he made a big mutt, like a ashram, but he felt like, you know, this is a waste of money. So he said, like, see, I feel like that I should sell this entire mutt and actually print books out of it. And he said, you know, because that is the knowledge that has to be spread. That is the most important thing. So he said, if you get money in your life now, print books and distribute them. Okay. And he kept every instruction that was given to him in his heart. And when in the age of 70 he took sannyas, he struggled, somehow went to the US, with a box full of Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavat, which he somehow printed. Okay, the first canto of Bhagavat, and there he actually transformed so many people, thousands and lakhs of people. That story, a lot of people will know beyond that point. That oh, he went to West, he did a lot of things, he established something called as ISKCON, and it became a big thing. Right? Not many people know this, that he was a normal person like you and me. Okay, who just made sure that he actually follows both, right? His spiritual vision and the professional, the material and the personal vision also, right? And that is what made him what he was, right? Which not many sannyasis were able to achieve this thing. Right? So that is the topic we'll talk about today, basically. Like how to balance personal, professional, and devotional life. If I speak completely in English, is it a problem for somebody? It's okay, right? Okay, I'm comfortable with either English or Hindi, but mixing will become tricky for any of you. So I'll try. बीच में हिंदी में जाएंगे, कभी-कभी इंग्लिश में जाएंगे. We'll keep doing both of them, right? So all clear so far, right? Someday we'll talk more about this person and his guru and his guru. All of them are like very learned person. They were like normal persons like you and me, okay, and who actually became great just because they also made sure that they follow the spiritual path apart from the material path. Okay, it's a complicated thing actually because a lot of people struggle on this, right? अरे जॉब में टाइम नहीं है भाई, मतलब कैसे करेंगे ये सब कुछ, इधर या फिर साधु ही बन जाएंगे क्या, मतलब साधु बन जाएंगे तो फिर जॉब कैसे करेंगे, क्या साधु बनना ज्यादा अच्छा नहीं है क्या, फिर उससे अच्छा तो they have at least one focus, right? We have a complicated world, so it's a very complicated thing. I don't know, there's a this thing, Hare Krishna, there's a voice coming here, I don't know. So the question comes कि ठीक है भाई, हमारी जॉब है, we have a family, we have a job, we have everything, why should I focus devotion at all? Like devotion focus practice ही क्यों करना है? Why should we practice devotion? What is the point? क्या लगता है आप लोगों को? What is the point of practicing? Yeah, अच्छी भली life है, job है, whatever. There's something or the other we have. Why do we need to practice devotion?
Most selfish answer is like it brings peace to ourselves. Like,
no, it's not selfish. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, there's no wrong answer. Basically, every answer is okay. That is real. I mean, like, see, people, because there are many reasons why they practice something. अभी आपके, I'm not saying in a bad way, but basically you have money, you live in society where the cost is like you pay 8 to 9,000 rupees per month just for maintenance, right? In such a society you live. So we have money, we don't have thinking, we don't need to think about food and these kind of things. So then we think at the level of peace, right? There are people who think at the level of खाने को मिलेगा थोड़ा तो कुछ तो करते हैं, right? I mean, so that is also the level. This peace is also a level. Money, there is between them also there is a level where you just like thinking about money, job, career, wife, anything, husband, etc. Right? That is also one level, right? But there is something or the other. These are all material levels, of course. इसके अलावा भी बहुत कुछ है, right? What else is there? क्यों और क्यों करना devotion? Peace के beyond भी कुछ है. Okay. Yeah, who am I? Yeah, right. Why am I here? Why am I suffering? And where to go? Where did I come from? And these are the kind of questions also which nobody else can answer. Scriptures have that answer, those answers actually, right? So that is also a big reason why to practice spirituality. Okay. What else? There's something beyond that also. Yeah, exactly. When you know that answer, like these kind of questions, if you know the answer, then also you practice spirituality or devotion, right? You realize, okay, I'm a soul, and I am suffering. Next life also I will suffer. So let me do something about it. हाँ, मुक्ति के भी ऊपर कुछ है, ठीक है? मुक्ति के ऊपर भक्ति है, ठीक है? This is real, okay? But so you practice devotion for many reasons, right? And people practice sometimes. I mean, the highest level is just for the sake of, because this devotion is the highest level. So you practice devotion for the sake of devotion. Okay. But anyways, I mean, nonetheless, wherever we are, we all have a reason why to practice devotion, right? Now, it is not easy in this world, right? I mean, we heard about Srila Prabhupada. I can talk about his guru and his guru and his guru also. All of them, I mean, like us, like normal people like us, right? That is the area that nobody talks about. How to practice? I don't have time, and they also didn't have time, right? He had 7 kids, okay, and he had a factory, right? At that time, he had a car. Okay, imagine, right? How how to manage all of this must be difficult, right?
Giving back to society.
Huh?
Giving back to society. He just
What?
what he earned, just give back to society. That also.
No, not like that. See, I'm saying like the problem is that you don't have time, right? We all say something like this, ना कि यार time नहीं है. अभी देखिए, lot of people could have come here, lot of people didn't have time, right? Something or the other है, मतलब okay, whatever, I have to go out, this is the only weekend I have, the evening something come up, this that, whatever, all genuine reasons, you know. But that is the problem. I mean, but those people, these great people also may not have the time also. How were they managing it? Because there's so much to do. Work, there's family, there is sadhana, okay, and we say that "Arey, chant every day and do something reading every day." It is not easy how to do everything every day, right? So two things happen. One is like, either you feel guilt because like, "Arey, yaar, matlab, I couldn't do it today, I tried," or whatever. There are one level of people, or the other level of people who get burned out, right? Because you're not able to get enough sleep. You've decided I'll do something like this, and but your office call is going for whatever. Then 12 in the night you are doing the chanting or something like that is happening. So either guilt or burnt out, something or the other happens. So it's a painful situation, right? I don't know if you ever felt this kind of a thing, right? So what kind of challenge you face? Anybody face? See, everybody has to answer, so don't think.
Concentration is very difficult, because if you start chanting, sometimes other things will.
Okay, you can use that mic also. There's one mic which we can use it. Yeah, that'll help.
I think.
It should work. No, don't touch that. But
Is it okay? Is it okay now?
maybe the mic one is not volume is very low. Okay, try. No, not mic. ठीक है, ठीक है, तो काम करो. ठीक है, we'll see. Anyways, I can move it here. You tell me. Whatever way.
The main thing is concentration. When you start chanting, sometimes you have some other thoughts is coming
Yeah.
into your mind.
Yeah, that is one problem, but that is not about the problem of juggling priorities. That is also partially like that, because you are thinking about what will happen in my life today, what will I plan, right? But even if you don't have anything to plan, then also these thoughts will come, right? Because thoughts are natural for us, right? Because the mind is not yet calmed down, so some more thoughts will come. That is one problem. But there is another problem, which is like, I don't have time to chant only. I don't have time to read some scripture. I don't have time to go to temple, right? Or attend some satsang or some good things. I cannot do that because I don't have time, right? That is also there, right? What else? Anything else on these zones? Yeah, prioritization is the one of the reason, right? Because we don't how to because this whole thing is like this, right? The life of I would say somebody who's a sannyasi or somebody, there's like one focus, right? Or they are doing only devotion. Or for somebody who's not into devotion has one focus, right? I will earn more money, more money, more money, right? Even though they are frustrated, or whoever can be frustrated actually. But for somebody who's trying to do both, it's a big problem. And even if you're not going to do that now, it's still a problem. See, you already have a family and you already have a work, and these two things still have a juggling, right? Someday for those working people, suddenly the work take over, and then suddenly your family is frustrated, so the family takes over, and you are not able to focus on work if there is a fight at home. You're not able to focus on family if there is like a deadline in the office. So something or the other keep happening, right? So those juggle was there, Now we are trying to add one more variable to the whole thing, right? One more ball for you to juggle, right? So it's frustrating. At the same time, there's a clue in this whole thing also, because how were we handling the both the things in the past, right? There's one more ball to handle, right? Grasta life is interesting. Grasta life is always a juggle. Trust me, no matter whoever you are, right? Is this an interesting topic? Is it like okay? Yeah, you're feeling like boring.
No, no, very relevant.
Relevant, okay. We'll get into some scriptures, of course, beyond this point. This was just the introduction. Yeah, so this was it is, right? Arjun was also into the same dilemma. Okay, Bhagavad Gita tells us same thing. Arjun was also into something like duty and devotion, right? What should I do? I mean, should I kill my brothers and this and that, right? Or should I not kill them? What should I do? Like, because there's one side there's Krishna who's telling him to kill, right? And the other side he's feeling like duty, meaning like more like material level thing, which is my brothers, my this thing, my that thing, right? So he was confused. More like, we are confused between work and our family. Right? If the work demands that you kill somebody, then you'll be in the same dilemma, right? So same situation for Arjun that way, right? And that's what happened, right? He was paralyzed. He was not clear, and so we also get into this kind of a zone. And what we think now, most of the time, we end up dropping this ball that we think is the least relevant, which is our devotion. Right? If the family takes over, if the work takes over, if anything else takes over, then fine. This devotional ball, keep it aside, right? And this happens. See, I've been preaching for many years now. I mean, like and I've seen so many people the similar pattern. A lot of people start with some enthusiasm, but after some time in between, life takes over, right? Some exams come up, some deadline comes up, somebody is not well, somebody died at home, a new house is getting constructed, and I'm just trying to recall so many other reasons, all valid reasons, right? But it takes over, right? And then they drop off. So similar thing, Arjun was about to drop off actually in the same way. He was like, he left his Gandhi, but he said, no, that's it. Abhi nahi fight karenge, right? We'll not fight, we'll become a sadhu. This is the direction he was trying to take, right? But Krishna told him something in Bhagavad Gita which was it redefined the whole problem statement. Okay, it made it relevant for him. Is it making sense, right? अगर कुछ clear नहीं है तो पूछ सकते हैं, ऐसा कोई problem नहीं है, right? I'm fine with that. It's not one-way discussion. I don't intend to do a one-way discussion, right? So Krishna answers this in Bhagavad Gita in the verse 3.30. Okay, something which was very amazing, which he actually did this every chapter. Every chapter he tried to mold Arjuna's thinking into kind of don't have to. There are no three balls. There's only one ball, like that. Okay, with this kind of a thought he was trying to inculcate. Okay, there's no three ball because we think there is three balls. That is why we have this juggling problem. Okay, so he says like dedicate all works to me, right? And many verses are like that. Where he says कि मतलब सब कुछ मेरे लिए करो, right? अगर ऐसा करेंगे ना तो फिर now there is that becomes transparent, right? कि अरे जो भी कर रहे हैं ना भगवान के लिए ही कर रहे हैं. If you do it like that, then there is no two balls, right? So this is a very important theme of Bhagavad Gita, right? कि वर्क से डिटैच नहीं होना है, but we have to please come. So we don't need to detach from the work. Sorry, you are very late. You'll have to come sit. And you have missed a lot. Okay, no, it's not okay, right? You're spending your time. That's why I'm feeling bad about it. So, anyways, so basically, he's saying that don't detach from the work, but detach from the results that you get, right? And offer those results to God, and it becomes devotion. अगर इस तरह से डिवोशन को डिफाइन करेंगे ना तो सभी कुछ वैसा ही हो जाएगा, राइट? देयर इज नो टू बॉल्स ऑफ डिवोशन अलग है और फैमिली लाइफ अलग है, पेरेंट्स अलग है, बच्चे अलग हैं और वर्क अलग है, ऐसा नहीं होगा. इट विल बी वन ओनली, राइट? सो एवरीथिंग यू आर डूइंग इज फॉर, यू आर डूइंग इट फॉर गॉड ओनली. मेक सेंस? हमने काफी बार बात किया था इसके बारे में, राइट? सो देन वर्क बिकम वर्शिप और योर फैमिली रेजिंग द किड्स बिकम वर्शिप, एवरीथिंग बिकम्स वर्शिप। जस्ट दैट हम ये फ्रूट्स को पकड़ के रखते हैं ना, इसलिए सारा फ्रस्ट्रेशन है। इट लुक्स लाइक बहुत बार सुना है ऐसा कुछ, तो इसलिए ना इसका वैल्यू खत्म हो जाता है, बट ये बहुत वैल्यूएबल चीज है। पहले सबसे पहली बात, ओके, भक्ति क्योंकि थ्योरेटिकल चीज नहीं है, भक्ति इज मोर लाइक डूइंग एक्टिविटी, एंड एक्टिविटी डेडिकेटेड टू गॉड, एंड एनी एक्टिविटी कैन बी डेडिकेटेड टू गॉड। ओके, I gave that example, right? A theoretical example, and that's why I thought कि यहाँ पर क्लास करते हैं। सी कि अगर आपके घर में एक मंदिर, बड़ा सा मंदिर है जिसमें भगवान है, राइट? तो आपका वो घर नहीं रहता है, राइट? वो भगवान का घर है। अभी अगर इस हॉल में हम झाड़ू लगा रहे हैं तो इट इज लाइक भगवान के मंदिर में झाड़ू लग रही है, राइट? अगर हम कुछ कुछ कुक कर रहे हैं तो हम भगवान के लिए कुकिंग हो रही है। तो फिर वो आप जो भी एक्टिविटी कर रहे हो ना, वो सारी की सारी एक्टिविटी स्पिरिचुअलाइज हो जाती है। अगर आप अर्न कर रहे हो तो यू आर अर्निंग फॉर गॉड, है ना? आप सब्जी ले रहे हो तो सब्जी आप देखोगे कि क्या भगवान के लिए अच्छा आलू लेना है, बिकॉज अच्छा कुछ बनाना है भगवान के लिए, वी आर कुकिंग लाइक दैट। सो एनीथिंग देन यू डू बिकम्स अ स्पिरिचुअल एक्टिविटी, राइट? देयर आर नो टू बॉल्स देन, ओके, like no three balls, no work, no family, no nothing, everything is God, for God only. Now for outside it will look like this person is working so hard, he is cooking so much, they are eating so many nice things at home, right? But essentially that whole activity is purifying you, while the otherwise if you are actually doing it for yourself, then that activity entangles you, because now you are being selfish and you are trying to do it for yourself, right? You're making pizza for yourself. If you're making pizza for God, then you're getting liberated by doing that activity, right? It's just a thought process, basically, one thing to understand. Yeah, all right, so please come further. Okay, so far clear, right?
Even if we think like that,
Huh.
normally we should also chant rounds, right? Daily.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. First thing first, right? See, why chant also has to be clear. Why should we chant? Why should we read Bhagavad Gita? Like, why should we do that? Right? Because even if you don't do that now, okay, you basically, this is also enough. The problem is that you will not be able to think like that if you don't do that. Okay, then it will become theoretical. If you want to live like this now, you need to have a spiritual sadhana to be able to be in this platform, right? Just think about it, like, we are doing this class, tomorrow you'll be in a spiritually charged up situation. By Wednesday, roughly I can tell you that this will start going down. Okay, the life, the Maya, whatever you call it, will take over. And then again on Saturday or Sunday you come and you'll again go up. This is the graph of most of the time it happens. Okay, why it happens is because we don't do enough endeavor after this class, right? And if you do that, then you can have the graph which is straight line always, no matter what happens, right? And after doing it for some time, like years, you will always have that straight line, because it will become natural for you. It goes from mana to chitta, and when it becomes part of the subconscious mind, it is like natural thinking for you. Okay, so basically, our problem is that we have stopped doing any endeavor after this class, right? Makes sense, right? तो उस पे जाएंगे क्यों करना है हम और समझेंगे, but basically more important is if you have this connection with God all the time, ना कि whatever I'm doing it for God, this itself is enough. Okay, there are a couple of examples out there, but the level is high. To be able to naturally do it, the level is high. Okay, that is beyond this Vedi Bhakti, basically, what we are doing right now. Okay, any other questions? Whoever came late, I mean, are you getting what we are talking? We are talking about, like, why, because there is a devotion, there is a personal life, then there is a professional life, and then there is a devotional life. How do I balance this, right? One way to balance it is that understand that there are no three lives. There is just one life only. Right? Everything I'm doing it for God. Whether I'm earning, whether I am raising my kids, whether I am cooking, whether I am cleaning the house, whatever, right? There are few principles you have to follow for that. Right? Look at our house, right? Instead of a TV, we have a photo of Radha Krishna, right? So if you are sitting in the sofa, we don't have anything else to watch in front, right? We have a TV. It's not that we don't have a TV because there's a purpose of the TV, right? So and if you have big enough altar at your house, then your focus will be on God, right? And instead of a TV, if you have a library in your hall, right, then what all you can do is like read books. So you can force yourself to enjoy. Not it's not a forced thing. It is a different kind of a life. एंड आई कैन प्रॉमिस यू कि आपको ऐसा लग रहा होगा कि टीवी घर से हटाने से क्या ही हो जाएगा, बट अगर इफ यू रिमूव इट ना, forget about spiritual thing, your material life will become much better. Last time we were talking about it. I mean, your family life will become much better. You'll have better connection with your between your family, with your kids and with your wife and husband and everybody, right? But nonetheless, I mean, I think, and that is the way you can actually spiritualize everything. Right? If you have a car, then use that car for going to temple. If you have a whatever you have, right? Okay, everything can be spiritualized. It's all well. No question.
So there was a question.
Huh.
When we are talking about, so we talked about many dimensions and many things in life. So basically, we are trying to understand that what we are targeting. We are targeting devotion, or we are targeting purification, or we are targeting something like being peaceful and balanced in this life.
Whatever you are targeting, I'm saying it doesn't matter. Okay, forget what you are targeting. We talked about it, right? There are many level of people who are looking for different things. For them to follow this, any of that is difficult. Right? If I tell you that, oh, read this kind of a Hanuman Chalisa every day, right? But for doing it every day, you need, like, you'll get a good wife, you will get some more money, whatever I tell you, right? But to read that every day is also a pain. You know, you'll have to need to do something. See, we all have some problem or the other, but motivation, now for that person, he will do it because there is a motivation. I need money, so I'll read this whatever Chalisa you asked me to do, right? Here, what is your motivation for attending this class, right? You can decide, and there has to be some motivation. I can tell you many level of motivations and beyond the levels that you can imagine, right? But doesn't matter. Our problem is that we have heard too much. Some of the people, when they start hearing these kind of things, they hear too much, too many advanced things. Oh, I can go to Vaikuntha, I can become this and that and all sort of things. They're not able to realize it. Because they're not able to realize it now, the priority is not there in life. फाइन यार, वैकुंठा जाएंगे, जब जाएंगे तब जाएंगे, अभी तो यार घर पे ये सब हो रखा है, इतना लड़ाई झगड़ा चल रहा है, या घर पे whatever ऑफिस में काम है, राइट? उसको सॉर्ट आउट करते हैं, बाद में वैकुंठ का सोचेंगे, right? So it's because it is not real for us now, so we are not able to take it in priority. If it would have been real for us, like, you know, कि अरे बस शादी नहीं हो रही है, अभी शादी करने के लिए ये वाला पूजा कराना है, तो आप सब कुछ छोड़ के वो पूजा करते हो, या whatever it is, right? XYZ, right? वाइफ को लेके जाना है बाहर, नहीं तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, so then you will do that, right? When you really able to realize that problem, so whatever is the problem for you, that's why I'm not making it complicated.
There is no problem. I mean, subjectively, there is no problem or something. I was just trying to ask to understanding purpose that what is the we are aiming, like we are aiming purification or we are aiming the devotion.
No, we actually you. That's why I'm saying, what are you aiming for? See, understand. I mean, अगर theoretically समझेंगे, तो theoretically हम लोग यहाँ पर फंस गए हैं. We are going through lot of miseries. 4 miseries everybody knows. Birth happens. Birth is a painful process. Then the death happens. Everybody knows that, right? Then there's a diseases which keep happening, right? And other than that, there are many other miseries which keep coming, right? I mean, there are like tsunamis, there are like viruses, there are so many things, there are wars. I mean, whether we admit or not, there are a lot of problems that we are subjected to. And then it is scientifically proven that after we die, we take birth again. We can easily scientifically prove that. There are so many books and articles written on topic, right? So the problem is real. Now with that problem, what are we aiming for? Like, do we want to? Are we okay with this dying again, taking birth again, reading ABCD again doing all of this, or we want to exit this whole thing? Are we really stuck? I mean, like, so scientifically we can prove that. If this is scientific, then the point is ki, acha, theek hai, what is the way out? Then scriptures tell us the way out, right? And the way out is, of course, you can call it purification, you can call it whatever you want to, right? The yoga, right? As Bhagavad Gita explains it, योग का मतलब होता है युंजते अनेन इति योग, right? और वो किस दो चीजों को जोड़ने का जो प्रोसेस है वो योग है. अभी वो जोड़ने के कई तरीके होते हैं, right? Like the highest way to join is through love, okay, which is called bhakti. You know, when we are trying to connect with God through the process of love, right? But and that is how you can get out. That is what scripture claims, right? I mean, if you're asking what is the highest process, why are we doing it? Now, getting into love with God, right? Somebody which is like, okay, fine, ठीक है, थोड़ा कर लेंगे बाद में प्यार, ऐसा क्या ही है, right? I mean, it's a complicated thing. Now, why that happens? Because we are not purified. Okay, and how can we get purified? By following these scriptural methods of hearing, chanting, reading, things like that, right? But again, it's a problem for us because we don't have time. Because this thing is, it can wait. इस लाइफ में नहीं हुआ तो अगले लाइफ में करेंगे. आप ही ने बोला था बर्थ आफ्टर बर्थ होता रहता है. So there's nothing to worry, right? So that is, yeah, please come. So basically that is another way to understand, right? Okay, any other questions? Is it making sense? बहुत boring है. Madam, see, I don't want to bore you with or make the philosophy complicated. The topic I wanted to discuss was कि जो भी philosophy हो, right? But the problem that you have is कि ये सब होता नहीं है. आना नहीं होता क्लास में because time नहीं है, right? कुछ भी बोला, थोड़ा scriptures पढ़ते हैं, रामायण पढ़ते हैं, भगवत गीता पढ़ते हैं, time नहीं है, right? हर किसी से पूछ लो. अभी आप रोड पे एक भगवत गीता की बुक लेके जाओ, you tell them कि फ्री में दे रहे हैं, बोलेगा टाइम नहीं है भाई, मतलब अभी एज नहीं है, मतलब बाद में देखेंगे, राइट? आई हैव सो मच टू डू इन माय लाइफ. ट्राई गिविंग देम, यू से दैट आई विल गिव यू मनी आल्सो, ठीक है? स्टिल दे विल से कि नहीं, पैसे ठीक है बट बुक नहीं चाहिए. अगर आप उनसे बोलोगे ना दान कर दो एक भगवत गीता के लिए पैसे दे दो, तो ही विल बी रेडी टू गिव यू मनी. But you say कि ना, in return I'll give you this Bhagavad Gita. I said it's okay, I don't need it. I'll still give you money. But it's a good cause, so I will give you. But I don't need this book. And this has happened with me multiple times. Okay, people have paid like 10,000 rupees also, like for a lot of books and all, but they are not able to take a single book. Okay, you give it to whoever you want, but don't give it to me. So, anyways, that is a problem. So, as we said, he dedicated all works to God, and that is the way to solve it. Now, Bhagavad Gita actually talks about balance a lot. As I was saying, for example, in 8.7, Krishna says that whatever you are doing, do your duty and remember Krishna. Like, remember me. Anybody wants to recite that verse? Anybody has Bhagavad Gita? Okay, nobody has. Sorry. So this 8.7 tells him that, okay, कि माम अनुस्मर युद्ध च, बोलते हैं कि remember me and fight. Okay, like all the time you just basically keep remembering me and keep fighting the battle. This is what he's saying. And this is what I was saying, like, that you can remember God all the time if you actually are doing it for God. Otherwise, how can you remember it? If you know that, whatever I am studying, so I am studying for God. I am working, so I am working for God. Or I am cooking, so I am cooking for God. Okay, this is what he is expecting. And then you can do it, like, because if you know that, like, see, if you're buying a sari for your wife now, then you'll always remember your wife naturally. But if you are doing it for God, then you will remember God. Makes sense, right? This is what he says. Then 3.4, he says that devotion is not about running away. Okay. It's not about, so what he says is that lot of people think that devotion is about taking sannyas. But he says, no, no, it's not about escapism, but it is actually about integrating with God. Right? Can you find the shloka? Can you read the translation? Yeah,
Yes, Guruji.
3.4.
Should I read it?
Yeah,
The slogan or only
whatever, either ways. Or translation you can read.
not by
Ah, yeah.
not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is that just by renouncing things, right? Just by leaving or running away, you don't become perfect. Don't think you'll become sadhu and you'll become perfect, right? And what he said in the first thing,
Not by merely abstaining from work.
yeah, which means like just you stop doing work and you don't become sinless, right, or reactionless. What it means is like if your kid is crying and you say no, no, I'll not do any work because if I do work, it will be good work or bad work, right? So I'll not do any work. But if your kid is crying because they are hungry, then also you are getting sin, right? Because there is a hungry child and you're not feeding them. So you have to do some work. But if you do work, then you can get reaction. But if you do this work for God, then there is no reaction. Okay, it's a simple logic. If you're cooking bhoga for offering to Krishna, then there cannot be any reaction because you are just cooking. And in that cooking process, if you kill one or two insects also, it's okay because I mean those insects will also get liberated because this process was to cook bhoga. The process was not for me to eat. Right? You will eat, but you will eat after that, and that changes the whole thing completely. Right? So devotion is not about escapism. Escapism. You should not run away. Third thing he says is like society needs spiritually grounded professionals. Okay, this is the verse where he talks about like that he gave the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was given not to some sadhu babas. Okay, Bhagavad Gita never mentions giving this knowledge to sadhu babas. It says that he gave this knowledge to some people who were called Rajarshis. Okay, and these Rajarshis means like those who were Raja and who were Rishi, both. Okay, they were the people who were like both professionally and devotionally great, right? And those are the people who where this knowledge was meant for such people, right? So it is not meant for people who are only professional or only devotional, right? Okay, so it was meant to be like practiced by people who can manage both of them well. So Bhagavad Gita is actually about a lot about balance. Okay, and they were like really great kings. Like Rajarshi, when he says he mentions at least one name called Janak. Okay, Janak, when we hear, we think that he's a father of Sita Mata, and that's all we know about him. But if you read some Upanishads like Brihadaranyaka Upanishad or Chandogya Upanishad, actually has stories of Janak. Okay, and it talks about what kind of yagyas he used to do, like very elaborate yagyas, and the entire city used to be like full of smoke and of this aroma of yagyas, and they used to actually organize debates, and there are like lot of debates mentioned there. Couple of interesting debates. They were like even women uh, who used to debate, like he had those kind of knowledgeable women in his this thing court who used to debate with a lot of sadhus and variety of things. I mean, like so it was a very interesting culture that he had in his kingdom. Okay, and that's why his name got gets mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, and that is why Ram basically chose basically him to be his father-in-law. It was no joke. So bottom line is ki those are the kind of people who were like great in doing devotion and great in doing this, right? And that is how the Sita Mata he found actually, right? Because he used to do yagya. So he, while doing a yagya, he was supposed to this plow the field, and that's from where he got it, right? Got Sita Maya. So basically, that is the kind of people that Bhagavad Gita expects, right? So our scriptures don't, even Bhagavad Gita specifically doesn't talk about become sadhu baba, right? It talks about becoming a person who's spiritually grounded and professionally also like ready to take up challenges, right? Make sense so far? Okay. So then basically one concept to understand is there are two things, which is one is called horizontal duties and one is called our vertical duties. Okay. So we all have our horizontal duties like family, work, society. Why this duties exist? Because oh, you are a soul, you are a spirit soul, but at the same time you are also a body. And because you are a body, there are some duties which are related to this body, which you are supposed to do. You're supposed to have a family, take care of them. Supposed to take care of work and society and variety of things, right? We cannot run away. Okay, if you run away right now with your having your kid and wife, you're actually going to incur a lot of karma. Run away meaning like run away to become a sadhu also. Okay, you are going to get some karma. So, and then there is something which is called vertical duty, which is like Krishna, our sadhana, our seva, our variety of things, right? A, B, C, D, E, like association, books, chanting, right? All sort of things, but that also is there. And why do they exist? Because we are a soul. And because we are a soul, we are stuck here, right? Body is not stuck here, but the soul is stuck here. Now, because the soul is stuck here, soul needs to go out. And for it to go out, you need to basically do some sadhana, right? And that process is called yoga. So that is the vertical duties that we have, okay? And we cannot renounce them also, right? So both of them are there, and that's what we were talking about, right? Now harmony is basically being able to do that, right? We cannot neglect either of them. We need to learn to integrate both of them, right? I told you about one technique. There are a few more techniques, but bottom line is this is the easiest by far. If you are a grahastha, then the easiest technique is to make your house a temple. Okay. Think about if I have a bigger hall, then why can't I do some kirtan? Let me call few people and do some kirtan, do some katha, do something, right? When I actually came, I mean, I only saw one society when I shifted from Pune. I used to live in Pune. Okay, when I saw this, when this door opened, I was like, oh, the hall is really big, because in Pune they didn't used to have these big halls. So my first reaction was, okay, we can have a big katha here, like we can do Bhagavad Gita classes here, and it's big enough, and that's okay for us. That was the only reason criteria for buying the house at that time. So we can, I mean, if we do, I'm not saying I'm a great person, but all I'm saying is like if that kind of a thought exists, then we can spiritualize our house, right? And we can make use of whatever resources we have. It could be your house, your car, your money, your skills, your whatever, right? If you are dedicating it for God, then you are in the right direction. Any thoughts? Is it too heavy, too high, too theoretical? It is not impossible. Okay, it is possible if you basically do those five things gradually. Okay, then this will not remain theoretical. Okay, as long as I told you, right? I mean, if you constantly in touch with devotees, if you're constantly chanting, if you're constantly eating prasad, doing some engagement, doing some reading, hearing, this will become real. Okay, because that's how it works. The theoretical theory is like that. ठीक है, जो मन है ना, mind actually absorbs your experiences, and it makes you react in similar way, right? So if it is absorbing the good things, gradually your thoughts will become on that direction only, right? It's just a matter of time. Okay, so don't worry. So now, yeah, we talked about it, right? Personal life. I mean, like now, if you talk about each of the aspects, like personal, professional, and devotional, right? So in personal life, of course, we talked a bit about. This was just the introduction so far, okay, and a crisp summary of the whole thing, right? So see, this is one of the big problem, and we talked about it. People are too busy to pray, right? Because they have some problems, some miseries in life. And my workload is very high. I mean, if you go ask your friend, na, ki, come join Bhagavad Gita class, he'll say, too much work for me, no time, and things like that. Or there is like whatever, I'm not well, somebody is not well, and something etc. is there. I cannot find time for this, right? But look at this picture. He's Gajendra. I don't know if you know this story of this person. Gajendra, anybody knows?
Gajendra Moksha.
Moksha nahi, Gajendra. So basically, Gajendra was the king of elephants. Some people don't know, so I'll just for everybody. Some people don't know. So basically, Gajendra was the king of elephant. Okay, and he was kind of a king. So he had a whatever wife and lot of kids, and like and basically a class of people who used to follow him, and he was playing along with them in the water. Okay, that's the story, simple story. I will not get into complicated version of it. So, and then there was a crocodile which came and he caught his legs. Okay, and when the crocodile caught his legs, this elephant was also very powerful. So they started fighting, and they fought for like a lot of very big time. Okay, quite a lot of time. They kept on fighting, and this crocodile was trying to overpower him, and this elephant was struggling. Okay, and in that process, during that time, somehow this elephant remembered some prayers which he learned in his previous life. Okay, and during that situation also he started praying to God. He started praying to Vishnu. Okay, and Vishnu came. Okay, and he liberated both of them. Okay, it's a very famous scriptural story from Srimad Bhagavad. I gave you a very, I don't know, kid-like summary of it. But if you read it, if you read the kind of prayers that Gajendra does, okay, before and after and variety of things, it's a very beautiful recitation, very beautiful thing is there. Okay, the reason why he remembered was he was in the previous life also some great person. This crocodile was also somebody. There's a lot of story around it. But bottom line is that this Gajendra was also stuck with his problems, right? And he had a problem to solve, which is like being pulled by a crocodile, right? And still he didn't forget to remember Krishna, right? And that was the reason why he got liberated also. As for us, we think that we are so much stuck with our life that we forget to remember God, right? And we may not know that just because we are not remembering God, and that is why we are stuck with our problem, right? But we don't bother. I mean, like everybody tells you, the scripture will tell you, everybody will tell you, because you are struggling because you are away from God. Okay, but we think that no, there's this problem. Let this problem get solved, then I will do that, right? Everybody thinks like that. It's unfortunate actually, right? Counterintuitive, but we do it like that. So unless we do that, we are going to be always stuck. And as I said earlier, right, कि मतलब this 3.9 is a very beautiful verse. Okay, we can recite it actually. यज्ञानात् कर्मणो न्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनात् तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्त संग समाचर. So it says yajnanarth karmano anyatra, यानी कि do the work, like everything should be done for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Okay, yajna actually translates in Sanskrit as Vishnu. Okay, yajna vai Vishnu ऐसे बोलते हैं. ठीक है, तो do everything for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Anyatra means like otherwise lokoyam karma bandhanat. If you do it for yourself or for this world, then it will cause the bondage. मतलब बंधनात, बंधन होगा अगर आप अपने लिए करोगे. अगर आप विष्णु की प्रसन्नता के लिए करोगे तो उससे लिबरेशन मिलेगा. ठीक है, सो वी वर सेइंग राइट कि क्यों करना है, तो ऑफ कोर्स इसलिए करना है. दिस इज वन ऑफ द रीजन, राइट, कि अगर हम भगवान की प्रसन्नता के लिए सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, एंड दैट कैन बी डन एज आई सेड, राइट. इट्स अ सिंपल grahastha life that we can lead. See, grahastha, when we say na, we think that married men are called grahastha, right? Isn't it? But married man is not called grahastha. Okay, वर्ण आश्रम ये तो सुना होगा आपने. Now आश्रम में 4 आश्रम होते हैं: ब्रह्मचारी, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ, संन्यास. Now all of them are called ashram. Ashram is like a place where the sadhus live, right? है ना? Now, if you look at a typical married man, wherever in this society or a lot of places, you will see that they are just focused on their enjoyment, right? Weekend में कहाँ खाएंगे? Where will we go for enjoyment? What will we do? X, Y, Z, right? Nobody is thinking about आश्रम जैसी फीलिंग, साधु जैसी फीलिंग, right? साधु की फीलिंग नहीं आएगी, आप किसी को भी देखोगे, right? But grahastha is ashram where the sadhus are supposed to live. So now these people are special type of sadhus who actually also have to interact with the world, okay, and at the same time maintain their consciousness, right? Because these ashram are the people, they are special people that they earn money on the basis of which all the other ashrams actually sustain. The brahmachari, the vanaprastha and sannyas, they don't earn. This only people earn, and they are supposed to wisely use their money so that they can sustain the other ashrams. At the same time, they are also supposed to maintain their consciousness in this world. So it's a tricky ashram, but that is called grahastha. Otherwise, somebody who is not living in this kind of a mode is called grahamedi. Those are the people who are basically not living like a sadhu. Okay, who are not connecting everything to God. So don't think that just by being married I became grahastha. Okay. So every act has to be and can be spiritualized, right? And I gave you examples, right? Raising the kid, preparing for exams, everything can be spiritualized. Okay, it's all about intent, right? Why am I doing it? If I'm doing it for the satisfaction of Krishna, then it's a spiritual activity. If I'm doing it for my satisfaction, then it's a material activity, right? Okay, because bhakti is all about offering, right? As I wrote it, it's not about withdrawal. It's not about कि नहीं नहीं मैं पैसे कमाना छोड़ दूंगा. Nobody is saying that. पैसे कमाओ, but भगवान के लिए कमाओ, right? When you get some extra money, then think about कि अरे बड़ा मंदिर बनाते हैं भगवान के लिए करते हैं अपने. Let's go cook some good things for him, right? Like that. Okay, that'll be the motivation for earning more money. If you're doing it like that, of course you'll also get prasad, right? I mean the nice cooking as you can do, you'll get nicer prasad. But that activity will purify you. Makes sense, right? All well? Okay. Yeah. So basically, yeah, in 5th chapter, Krishna says, this is what the translation goes like. The personality of God had replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Right? He says कि अरे साधु बनना भी चलता है, भक्ति करना भी चलता है, but साधु बनने से better है भक्ति करना. Right? He is glorifying the kind of people that we should aspire to become. That is the kind of thing he is saying. So grahastha life, as I said, is about balance. It's not about escape. Right? You have to renounce the selfishness, not responsibility. Right? अपने लिए करना है ये सोचना छोड़ना चाहिए. And couple of generations back, if you go back now, world life was like that. People used to live with God in the center. Everything was done like that. I used to live in Pune, and I was talking to somebody, some old person was telling me that they used to do every week offering called Naivedya. Like every day before eating, they used to offer it to God. That was mandatory. If you go buying a cloth, nobody used to try the clothes before offering it to God. There was no such culture of trying it in the shop or like a show in a mall or something. Okay, because they used to first offer it to God and then wear it. And this was natural. If you look at South India, there are like so many other big temples, like which are constructed, like Sri Rangam temple and all that, which are like in the central of the city, right? The reason was that so many people, whoever is working to build the temple for many generations, the temple used to get built. Everybody used to look at work for God only. Whatever skills they had, they used to apply for building the temple for God, right? So they were working directly for God. And then the other thing is, like wherever you are in that city, when you wake up, you will see that temple only. There's like the biggest landmark. So you'll always remember God wherever you go. That was the culture that we had earlier, right? That culture is sort of lost. Now only rituals remain, right? So that's how it is, right? Because that is, and last time we were discussing this in the 6th chapter. When Krishna describes about those Ashtanga yogis, right, who meditate and go to the forest and things like that, he starts the discussion with this verse. Okay, he says that one who is unattached to the fruit of his work and who work as he is obliged is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Right? You want to recite? Somebody wants to recite this verse? Yeah.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Sri-
Anasritah Karma Phalam.
No. Good.
Anasritah Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karotiyam Sasanyasi Cha Yogi Cha
Niragni chakriya. Yeah. So he says ki basically karyam karma karoti. Yes, sir. Basically somebody who does his duty. He is the true yogi, right? सन्यासी च योगी च, वही सन्यासी है और वही योगी है. राइट, न निरग्निर न च क्रिया। न निरग्निर मतलब वो सन्यासी नहीं है जो घर पे फायर भी नहीं जलाता। तो फायर दो तरह के लोग जलाते हैं, पता है? फायर एक तो आप कुकिंग के लिए जलाते हो, और दूसरा आप जलाते हो जब आप यज्ञ करते हो, राइट? तो अगर आप दोनों में से कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हो, आप जंगल में जाके ऐसे ध्यान लगा के बैठे हो, तो ना तो आप यज्ञ कर रहे हो भगवान के लिए, ना तो आप घर पे कुकिंग कर रहे हो। और यज्ञ है कई तरह से होता है, एक तो भगवान के लिए ऐसे स्वाहा वाला यज्ञ होता है, दूसरा यज्ञ होता है जब आप सब कुछ भगवान को अर्पित करते हो किसी भी तरह से, उसको भी यज्ञ कहते हैं। तो वो बोल रहे हैं कि न निरग्निर न च क्रिया, जो कुछ कोई भी एक्टिविटी नहीं करता, जो कोई भी अग्नि नहीं जलाता, वो पर्सन सन्यासी योगी नहीं है। वो है सन्यासी और योगी जो भगवान के लिए अर्पित करता है, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाट इज सेइंग। सो सन्यासी इज अ माइंडसेट, इट इज नॉट अ ड्रेस। Person wearing jeans or whatever can be a sannyasi very well, right? Anybody can be a sannyasi. It is more about having the right mindset, right? If Yashoda Maiya and Krishna, right, if the Janmashtami is coming, if Yashoda Maiya is always thinking about Krishna, then she is the biggest sannyasi, as many acharyas explain, because all the time she is thinking about Krishna, unlike us or anybody else. Right? Kamsa was also thinking about Krishna all the time, but Kamsa was not thinking it in the positive way. Right? If the intent is to please Krishna, then that is called devotion. Right? Okay. So anybody who's having that intention that I'll please Krishna, then you are in the devotional path. Makes sense? So sannyas is more like a mindset. Don't confuse it with clothes. Of course, I mean somebody with the clothes can also be sannyasi. I'm not saying, but those are external. Okay. I don't know what's going on. No, it's not like that. Hare Krishna. Okay. Anyways, I don't know. So, yeah, it's not stopped working. Okay. नहीं तो बंद ही कर दिया आपने. No. This has nothing to do. Anyways, so devotees basically, as I said, कि all ashrams can be renounced people, right? चाहे वो ब्रह्मचारी, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ, संन्यास, everybody can be a renounced person. And spiritual elevation is all about having selfless action. वो दे दीजिए. Right. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hare Krishna. Can you raise the voice? Hare Krishna. Okay, better. So yeah, मेक सेंस. बहुत बोरिंग हो रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है, मतलब अननेसेसरी की बातें कर रहे हैं, मतलब आपको समझ रहा है ना मैं क्या कहना चाह रहा हूँ आप लोगों से? ठीक है. सो अभी आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि ऐसे बातें बहुत थ्योरिटिकल है, राइट? ऐसे कहाँ होता है, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? लाइफ में बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकती हैं, बहुत कुछ होता रहता है. हाउ कैन वी रियली मैनेज इट? देयर आर पीपल हु एक्चुअली डिड दिस इन द पास्ट, ओके, who actually could achieve it in a way which is amazing. I talked about Srila Prabhupada as one example. There are all of them actually that you see na, most of them are example of this sort. Till the end that you see these 6 people with copying and all, even them, okay. So all of them are some kind of example. But someday we'll talk about them. अभी समय नहीं है. But बेसिकली आई गिव यू वन मोर एग्जाम्पल. ओके, सो आप जो फोर्थ पोजीशन पे जो वहां पे आप देख रहे हो, श्रील प्रभुपाद के गुरु हैं भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती, उनके एक गुरु हैं जो हैं जिनका नाम है गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी, और उनके एक गुरु हैं जो 4th नंबर पे दिख रहे हैं, उनका नाम है भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर, जिनका हमने एक सॉन्ग गाया था, राइट? दिस भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर वॉज एक्चुअली अ मजिस्ट्रेट. किस जमाने पे थे? अंग्रेजों के जमाने पे मजिस्ट्रेट थे वो. ओके, अब नाउ अंग्रेजों के जमाने का मजिस्ट्रेट कैसा होता है आप सोच के देखो. मतलब यू नो वो एक राजा जैसे थे. मतलब उनके वहां पे ना, उनके ऐसा था कि उनके घर से ऑफिस के लिए जहां पे उनका वो था, उसके लिए वहां पर एक रेलवे ट्रैक बिछवाया था ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने. ठीक है, तो उस पर बैठ के वो जाते थे अपना वहां पर. और ऐसे वो ट्रैक अभी आज से कुछ साल पहले तक पड़ा हुआ था वहां पे. मायापुर नाम की एक जगह है वहां पे, उसके पास में, वहां पे अगर आप जाओगे तो वहां पे वो ट्रैक पड़ा हुआ था उनके घर से. अभी कुछ समय पहले शायद मैंने देखा है वो इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने हटा दिया वो. सो बेसिकली ही वाज अ मजिस्ट्रेट, ही हैड लॉट ऑफ किड्स, ही वाज अ फादर, his son was actually Prabhupada's guru. His son was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who was actually Prabhupada's guru. Then he was a writer. He wrote lot of books. Okay, lot of books, lot of songs that we read. One of the song that we sang. Okay, and he is a great आचार्य. आचार्य का मतलब होता है कि आचरति इति आचार्य, जो जो बोलता है ना वो करता भी है. ठीक है, नॉट जस्ट मतलब एक प्राचार्य होता है, जो प्राचार्य मतलब जो प्रचार करता है, जो बताता है बस. ठीक है, लेकिन एक होता है आचार्य जो कि आचरण करता है. राइट, वट एवर ही इज सेइंग ही इज डूइंग like that. So he has like seamless integration of all these emotional, material, and spiritual life, right? And basically is a proof that this balance is possible. There are many proofs, but this is how his daily routine was. Okay, I thought it will be interesting to know what was his daily routine. ठीक है, too much to handle, but देख सकते हैं कि कैसे लोग जीते हैं. So now he used to get up at 7:30. 7:30 to 8 p.m. he used to sleep in the night. 10 p.m. में वो उठते थे और उठ के मतलब 7:30 to 8 के बीच में सो जाते थे. 10 p.m. पे उठते थे. He used to get up. He used to write books. He used to write letters to many people in America and London. Not America was not there that time. London में लोगों को लिखते थे कि देखो आप भागवत पढ़ो, ये मतलब like he used to preach to people. So 10 p.m. in the night. Then 4 AM तक वो लिखते थे, कुछ बुक्स लिखते थे, कुछ करते थे. 4 AM पे वो फिर से रेस्ट लेते थे. ठीक है, 4:30 पे उठते थे. उठने के बाद he used to rinse, wash his hands and face, and then he used to chant the Hare Krishna महामंत्र. ठीक है, and 7 AM पे वो लेटर्स लिखते थे लोगों को, as I said. ठीक है, फिर 7:30 पे रीडिंग्स करते थे अलग शास्त्रों की. 8:30 पे वो अपने गेस्ट वगैरह आ गया, कोई आ गया, अगर कोई नहीं आया तो फिर अपनी रीडिंग करते रहते थे. 9:30 पे अगेन वो सोते थे 15-20 मिनट के लिए. 9:45 पे उठ के वो बात लेते थे एंड ब्रेकफास्ट करते थे और फिर 9:55 पे वो कोर्ट जाते थे. ठीक है, फिर 1 PM पे वापस आते थे कोर्ट से और फिर बेसिकली बात लेके फिर से 2 PM पे वो ऑफिस जाते थे. 5 PM पे आके वो फिर से स्क्रिप्चर्स को, संस्कृत स्क्रिप्चर्स को बंगाली में ट्रांसलेट करते थे. एंड देन लाइक दैट ही यूज्ड टू लीव बेसिकली. Okay, that was his this was his daily routine that he used to follow, like methodically. Okay. I know. ठीक है. If you are interested, I can share this discussion. I am recording it. It's live actually. ठीक है. So anyways, no problem. Okay. So 7:30, please come sharp. I know. Prashad is come for Prashad. Okay. ठीक है. So this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to live basically. Now, he wrote lot of books, lot of poems, lot of things. At that time he used to send letters to people in London and other places कि आप लोग पढ़िए, भगवत गीता पढ़िए, भागवत पुराण पढ़िए, वगैरह वगैरह. At the same time he was supposed to be a very good magistrate of his time, where the British government, why they laid down that railway track, because he wanted to retire. He said कि मुझे नहीं करना at one point, but these people said नहीं आप you are so good that we want to retain you, and he said I want to stay in this place only. So they said fine, we'll do some arrangements so that you can travel easily and you can come there. Okay, and just one example, okay, random example, I can give couple of others, but the point is कि मतलब it is possible to do that, and there is a basis of how to do that, right? This sadhana that we do is very important. If you don't do that sadhana well, you will not be able to maintain this consciousness for long. After some time this kind of routine will burn you out, right? You're not even sleeping for like 6 hours also, right? I've met such people in the real world right now, okay, who actually do things which look miracle in their personal lives. Okay, so this is how it is, right? But as I said na, this devotional is important, and that was the personal part of it, right? And if you go to the professional part of it, devotion is important in profession also, right? Because this personal thing, see, you don't incur sin if you are following it well in your personal life, and professionally, as you said, peace is one of the reason, but more than that actually, right? These are real people, and they have some profession and they are also devotees, right? So it's possible to be like them, but basically this is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us in the 18th chapter. ठीक है, कि क्या बोलती है भगवत गीता कि आप कोई भी प्रोफेशन कर रहे हो ना, इफ यू आर डूइंग इट इन द राइट कॉन्शियसनेस एंड दैट इज द नेचर दैट यू हैव, तो कोई पाप नहीं लगता उससे. यू कैन कंटिन्यू टू डू व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, राइट? बट एट द सेम टाइम यू हैव टू do it with the right consciousness, in the sense कि मैं भगवान के लिए कर रहा हूँ. There are people, I mean, जो डाकू थे और डाकू से साधु बन गए, ऐसे भी बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं there are शास्त्रों में, right? Like, and because they somehow got transformed because of right reasons, because of some kripa from somebody, from something else happened, and they became transformed. So this, it's okay, whatever we are doing. But more important is that we need to learn to integrate ये दोनों चीज़ों को, right? मतलब if you do that, now why, of course, as you said, peace, right? कि work stress जो है वो कम करने के लिए that is one of the thing that you can get out of it. जब प्रोफेशन की बात होती है, वी हैव टू बी क्लियर. अगर हम लोग, क्योंकि करेंगे कब ना, जब हमारे को कोई रीजन होगा, राइट? तो एक सॉलिड रीजन होना चाहिए. लाइफ में कुछ भी हो सकता है कभी भी. You can get laid off, you can get whatever, XYZ, so many things happen in the job, or ups and downs and variety of things, right? People who are not spiritual, it's very difficult for them to handle, right? So you can get a mental reset, prasadam and variety of things, and remember Krishna all the time and reduce your anxiety and increase your clarity, right? किसी प्रोफेशनल के लिए नॉर्मल है ये, right? ओके, एज फॉर टाइम मैनेजमेंट, सी, क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है, दिस इज द रियल प्रॉब्लम, राइट? कि अभी टाइम मैनेज कैसे करें प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में, राइट? सो द फर्स्ट थिंग इज लाइक, नाउ वी हैव टू बी अ बिट डिसिप्लिन्ड, ठीक है? हमें अगर प्रैक्टिकल टिप्स चाहिए ना, तो प्रैक्टिकल टिप, अभी प्रैक्टिकल चीज़ों पे ही बात करेंगे कि मतलब सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि मॉर्निंग साधना हमारी कैसी है. ओके, आर यू एबल टू फाइंड सम टाइम इन द मॉर्निंग एंड डू समथिंग स्पिरिचुअल? अगर आप ऐसा नहीं करोगे ना तो कुछ होने नहीं वाला, मतलब आई एम सीरियस, नहीं होने वाला, ठीक है? ओके, सो एंड इट इज इजी, इट्स नॉट इम्पॉसिबल. मतलब ऑल ऑफ यू एक्चुअली इफ यू वांट ना, तो हमारा एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है, उसमें ना लोग सिर्फ इसलिए एडेड हैं कि वो अपना जब चैंटिंग कर लेते हैं ना, तो वो उसमें एक मैसेज डाल देते हैं कि आई एम डन, ओके? और इट गिव्स इंस्पिरेशन टू सो मेनी पीपल, right? And you'll see people who start sending such messages early morning, as early as sometimes 4 a.m. To 6 a.m. whatever, and somebody will feel कि wow, like, you know, देखो हम उठ भी नहीं पाए और इन लोगों ने ये 2 घंटे से chanting कर रहे थे, like that. So you get some inspiration, and it's okay, whatever time, whoever is doing whatever number of rounds. That the reason for creating that group at one point was कि people will get some inspiration, right, from each other, right? बट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हम लोग ना मॉर्निंग में कुछ हमारा साधना का एक स्टैंडर्ड होना चाहिए. इट कुड बी एनीथिंग. हम एक माला करेंगे भगवान के लिए, वट एवर करेंगे, समथिंग विल डू, राइट? कुछ अच्छा पढ़ेंगे, मे बी 1 पैराग्राफ 2 पैराग्राफ पढ़ेंगे, कुछ अच्छा सुनने की कोशिश करेंगे, चलो आधे घंटे 15 मिनट कुछ करेंगे. एक कुछ मॉर्निंग साधना का कुछ एक स्टैंडर्ड होना चाहिए. अगर आपका इतना स्टैंडर्ड होगा ना, तो आप नोटिस कर लेना, कुछ समय बाद आपको रियलाइज होगा कि आपका सारा दिन बहुत स्पिरिचुअल जाता है. You'll feel more in control. If you miss out this time of early morning, everything is gone pretty much. वो दिन तो गया काम से. फिर आप भागते रहोगे, ये सब कहने के लिए, टिक मार्क लगाने के लिए, ठीक है, रात को माला कर ली, कुछ कर लिया वगैरह होता रहेगा, राइट? एंड वट एवर यू डू, राइट, आई मीन इन द डे ऑल्सो, बिकॉज इफ यू डू योर साधना वेल, तो सारा दिन आप ना भगवान को सेंटर में रख के प्लान कर पाओगे. ओके, आप सोच सकोगे कि यार भगवान को लेके, मतलब अभी मैं जॉब चेंज करने की सोच रहा हूँ, क्या मुझे चेंज करनी चाहिए, क्या इस सिटी से किसी और सिटी में जाना चाहिए, राइट? क्या मुझे वहां पर भगवान का मंदिर मिलेगा, क्या मेरे लिए सही रहेगा वगैरह, राइट? भगवान के लिए को देके सोचा जा सकता है. एनी थिंग कैन बी थॉट लाइक दैट, राइट? एंड वन वे टू डू इट इज टू थिंक ऑफ दीज थिंग्स मोर, जैसे हम प्रोफेशनली मैनेज करते हैं. हम एक मीटिंग टास्क इस तरह से सोचते हैं चीजों को, राइट? कि 3 बजे मुझे इससे मिलना है, तो फिर वी आर प्रिपेयर्ड, somehow we find that time, right? No matter what is going on in life, we don't think of bhakti in that way कि it's a commitment, right? इतने बजे मुझे 6 बजे उठ के ये करना है, right? Whatever, भगवान के नाम लेने हैं, कोई कुछ करना है, कुछ अच्छा स्पिरिचुअल एक्टिविटी करना है, हमने ऐसा हम सोचते ही नहीं इस तरह से. अगर हम वैसा करेंगे ना, तो चीज़ें सॉल्व हो जाएंगी अपने आप ही. अगर आपको पहले से पता है ना कि कल 6 बजे मुझे उठना है भाई, ये करना है, तो आप रात में अपने आप ही सोचोगे कि भाई 6 बजे उठना है, इसका मतलब मैं सो जाता हूँ, इतना लेट हो गया है, इससे लेट करूंगा तो 6 बजे नहीं उठ पाऊंगा वगैरह, राइट? इट्स जस्ट दैट वी डोंट ट्राई डूइंग दैट, वी डोंट थिंक इट इज ऑफ दैट टाइप. The last thing is, of course, I mean, like, you know, even tools can be used, right? You can use some things like calendar, something, whatever you can to help you. ठीक है, इसमें टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, राइट? बट think about such ways, the way we use our it for other things, right? We can use it for the same way for devotion also. हाँ माता जी.
I'm struggling to wake up in the morning and do chanting.
Right.
I want to go in Brahma Muhurat.
Yeah.
But नहीं हो पा रहा है, तो क्या motivation, मतलब इतना strong motivation के उठ के 4:35 और
हाँ माता जी, बहुत सारे मोटिवेशन है. मतलब जैसे एक मोटिवेशन ये है कि ब्रह्म मुहूर्त का यूज क्या है पता है? ब्रह्म मुहूर्त का पर्पस ये होता है कि दैट इज एक्चुअली द टाइम व्हेन आवर माइंड एंड एवरीथिंग इज इन सत्व गुण. ठीक है, और जब आप वहां पर करते हो ना, यू डू एनी प्रैक्टिस ना, द थिंग्स गो मच डीपर देयर. बिकॉज आपके घर पे सब लोग सो रहे होते हैं, एक शांति होती है, देयर इज नो कमिटमेंट आउट देयर, यू कैन पीसफुली डू वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट. Instead, बाकी टाइम पर it's going to be more juggle all the time, right? So you will be able to focus more. That is one reason, and the peace you will get. The other motivation, which I am kind of whatever tuned to somehow, is like कि if I don't do it early morning, I somehow feel कि life slips away. Like whole day is like I am not in control. Okay, then the life is driving me. If I do my sadhana early morning, then I feel कि यार I am in control. I mean, like, you know, the situations are in a different zone then for me. Like, you know, unless the flow is very strong, most of the time, I am most meaning like 99% of time, things are in control for me if I have done my sadhana well. So that, and somehow I've, based on experiences, I realized it. You can also try, you'll realize maybe, right? But and that is a strong motivation for me. Even if I have not slept enough, I know that if I don't do it early morning, I will somehow get into trouble like that. So whatever. For years, I realized that. The third reason is also, see, there is no no certainty of this life, right? क्या पता बाहर निकले घर से और कुछ हो जाए हमें, right? एटलीस्ट आज का दिन तो भगवान का नाम ले ले हम, राइट? बिकॉज शास्त्र बोलते हैं, राइट, कि मतलब यू नो व्हाटएवर, है ना? सो यू नो ऑल द स्क्रिप्चर्स. आई मीन होप यू अंडरस्टैंड, राइट, कि अगर हमने ये भी नहीं किया, आज भी नहीं किया, तो फिर पता नहीं क्या होगा हमारा. तो उससे अच्छा है भगवान का नाम तो ले ले, आज मौका जो मिला है हमें सुबह सुबह, तो वाई टू वेस्ट दैट एफर्ट? सो दैट वे, दैट इज अनदर मोटिवेशन, लेट्स नॉट वेस्ट द अपॉर्चुनिटी दैट वी हैव. There are other reasons like that, but basically we have to find, मतलब but these are enough माता जी. मतलब कि मतलब हम लोगों को, आपको ना ज़्यादा डीपर उसमें वो मिलेगा. There are many other benefits of ब्रह्म मुहूर्त, बिकॉज शास्त्र बोलते हैं कि वो समय होता है जब देवता क्रॉस करते हैं. There are like, you know, बहुत सारी अच्छी चीज़ें हो रही होती हैं, auspicious things. When they hear us chanting, when they hear us doing some good activities, they also bestow their blessings, and variety of things happen. But in practical, you'll anyways see that you'll be able to go deeper because there is no distraction pretty much for you. Right? This is what somebody told me at one point, long back. Okay, somebody in Pune, that you know that, oh, his family is sleeping and he is able to focus. That kind of resonated with me somehow, and I picked up and I realized, oh, if I don't do it, after that I didn't do it for some time. I realized no, things don't work very well. I don't feel like happy about it somehow. Okay, so then it became like a habit since then. I never missed it. So yeah, that's the thing. But basically, if we now, you can basically, why we struggle now. If you think there are ways of solving those struggle. I mean, a real practical thing. Because simple logic, if you sleep early, you'll get up early, right? And because you don't have anything to do, you'll chant, right? So basically, just that we don't sleep early. Other thing is, and if you sleep early now, you'll feel more satisfied when you get up. Just try sleeping early at 8 to 9, roughly 8, 9, or at least before 10. You'll be more happier, right, morning. The other thing is, like, if you eat late, then you'll not be able to get up early, right? So if we eat early, then also naturally we get up early. So if you see these brahmacharis and all, na, they don't eat either they eat at either 4 p.m. kind of time. Okay, so if you eat at 4 p.m., definitely by 7, 8, 9, your everything is like settled in the body. If they have to eat something, they will have a glass of milk or something like that, mostly. Okay, but and this can be done by all of us, by the way. It's not difficult. If you start, like, it's just a habit. If you want to get up early, yeah.
For those who have 8 hours of work like this.
Yeah, it's, you're not alone. I work with Microsoft. I mean, you're not alone basically. So all of us have it, right? So it's about balancing the thing. Now, I mean, that is an extreme thing. I mean, I'll not recommend, but it is possible to sleep less some days, right? It's about priority in life. Okay, if you have it priority, then fine. I mean, ठीक है यार, आज कम सोएंगे, क्या करेंगे? But I have to get up now because it's important for me. अगर वाइफ का अगर बर्थडे होगा नेक्स्ट डे तो क्या करोगे?
Simply late time. If you would,
Huh?
daily it's not possible, right? If you are late, say,
Yeah.
nights, like late nights.
These are extreme examples, right? I mean, is it like that you have it really? No, right?
Yeah, it's,
Every day?
yeah,
Okay. Late night shift?
late nights.
Okay. So then basically, see, then it is still okay. Then what you can do is now, simple solution. You can change your job. See, it's all about priority, na? It's all about.
So it's started with 2 p.m. in the afternoon and it goes till 10 night. So it's 8 hours job. It's not like
10 in the night. Huh?
Yeah.
So the 10 in the night you can sleep, na? No problem.
But 10 in the night is office. By home you are on 11:30 or so.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm saying like it's all about priority in life. Right? You have to think about it. I'm not saying कि you cannot change your job. I'm not saying कि it is still okay that ठीक है यार थोड़ा late कर लो. I can advise you for that. But I'm giving you a next level advice that is like change your job. What is the big problem? There are so many jobs in the world, right? I mean, because we have to think ना कि and we behave like this all the time ना. घर पे पानी का प्रॉब्लम है तो नहीं आ रही आपके कुछ करते हैं या तो नल बनवाते हैं या घर ही चेंज करते हैं, इस एरिया में पानी का प्रॉब्लम है, राइट? तो नहीं सोचते हम पैसे कम दे रही है ये कंपनी तो नहीं दूसरी कंपनी में जाएंगे, तब हम लोग को नहीं खराब लगता है। अभी मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि स्पिरिचुअल रीजन से जॉब चेंज कर लो तो देन यू फील नहीं सब हंस रहे हैं यहाँ पे, है ना? बिकॉज दिस इज हाउ वी थिंक अबाउट स्पिरिचुअलिटी। इट्स नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कम ऑन यार, स्पिरिचुअलिटी के लिए जॉब कोई चेंज करता है क्या? लेकिन अगर घर में पानी नहीं आएगा तो करते हैं चेंज, राइट? कंपनी पैसे नहीं देती है तो भी चेंज करेंगे आप मतलब जॉब, राइट? It's like that. It's all about priority. But actually, if you think na, but if you think deeply from scriptures, so this is higher priority than the job or the house that we have. कितने साल चलेगा जॉब ये वैसे भी, right? तो फिर क्या करेंगे उसके बाद, है ना? So, anyways, okay. But yeah, it's not a matter of मतलब it's not a matter of joke. But I can go deeper if needed. Time नहीं है इतना. Right. But think about your life, ना? It's all about, see, अभी पता नहीं है आज अभी इस समय मेरी डेथ हो जाए तो, राइट? हो सकती है, किसी की भी हो सकती है, राइट? अभी क्या, अभी फिर क्या, है ना? पता नहीं। इतनी बड़ी बड़ी बातें तो ठीक है, मेरी जॉब, मेरा घर, मेरी वाइफ, मेरा सब कुछ, दैट इज अ रियल वर्ल्ड वी लिव इन एक्चुअली। फिर क्या होगा? सो अगर वो इम्पोर्टेंट है देन वील हैव टू टेक सम स्टेप्स अबाउट इट, बिकॉज़ इट कैन हैपन नाउ। हाँ, that's what I said. I can go deeper, more than this also. ठीक है, तो yeah, and then another real problem which happens is there are workplace temptations, right? How do I manage? When I say कि ना manage professional and devotional life, then there are many temptations in the workplace, right? अरे सब लोग पार्टी के लिए जा रहे हैं, अभी वो कोई नॉन वेज रेस्टोरेंट में जा रहे हैं, बट मैं तो नॉन वेज खाऊं कि नहीं खाऊं, मैं क्या करूं वगैरह, राइट? या वट एवर, मतलब इट्स अ सिंपल एग्जाम्पल आई गेव, टू बी मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड। अरे यार मैं ऑनियन गार्लिक नहीं खाता, अभी मैं क्या करूं, राइट? या मैं बाहर का ही नहीं खाता, ऐसा भी हो सकता है, या और भी बहुत कुछ हो सकता है, राइट? तो मैं क्या करूं, राइट? जॉब छोड़ दूं, क्या करूं, वगैरह वगैरह। हर सिचुएशन में जॉब छोड़ना पॉसिबल नहीं है, बट but purity can be maintained without isolating yourself. Okay, now it's a balance. It's a slightly deeper discussion, maybe not for this forum, but basically you can still do that. It's possible to achieve all of this. मतलब जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको नॉनवेज खाने से ही दोस्त बनते हैं, ऐसा भी जरूरी नहीं है कि आपके कुछ भी से दोस्त बनते हैं, right? Is it too much to handle? ऑल वेल सो फार? बोर हो गया, किसी को बहुत ज्यादा हो गया है, बस करें वगैरह, ठीक है. या सो बेसिकली इट्स पॉसिबल टू बी अ डिवोटी. आई मीन ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज लाइक यू नो, अगर कोई आता है बकवास कर रहा है मेरे साथ बैठ के, मतलब कुछ भी फालतू की बातें, तो क्या मुझे सुनना चाहिए? क्योंकि उसको सुनने से कि अरे पता है कुछ कुछ उल्टी सीधी बातें मुझे बता रहा है, क्योंकि उससे मेरा कॉन्शियसनेस खराब होने वाला है. सपोज अब मैं वो सुनूं या मैं ना सुनूं, राइट? क्या करना चाहिए ऐसे समय पे?
नहीं सुनना चाहिए.
पर कैसे नहीं सुनेंगे? फिर लोग बोलेंगे कि ये तो बहुत ही थोड़ा घमंडी टाइप का आदमी है, मतलब इट्स नॉट लाइक बेसिकली वट एवर, इट मे इफेक्ट योर करियर ऑल्सो, राइट? हाँ, लेकिन सुन के ना इग्नोर होता नहीं है, पता है?
अंदर चले जाए.
हाँ, अंदर चला जाता है वो, राइट? See, any conversation can be transformed by taking it to a level जिसके बाद उसको नीचे गिराना पॉसिबल ही ना हो. मालूम है, अगर कोई कुछ बता रहा है कि अरे पता है वहाँ पे साड़ी की सेल लगी है वगैरह वगैरह, आप बोलना शुरू कर दो, अरे पता है मैं कल मंदिर गया ना, तो मुझे राधा रानी की साड़ी दिखाई दी, इतनी सुंदर साड़ी वो, इतनी ब्यूटीफुल लाल रंग की साड़ी थी वो, इट वाज सच लाइक दैट एंड दिस एंड दैट ना उसके बाद वो बात जो डायरेक्शन था ना, वो डायरेक्शन पूरा ही अलग हो जाएगा. फिर उसके बाद आप उसको ले जाके राधा कृष्णा के मंदिर में गए, हम वहाँ पे ये हुआ, वहाँ पे कथा हो रही थी, और वो कथा में हमने सुना, हमें पता चला कि ये भगवान कौन है और वगैरह वगैरह. आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो किसी भी कन्वर्सेशन का. नो, इट्स अप टू यू, राइट? एंड आफ्टर बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट ना, पीपल अंडरस्टैंड कि यार इनके सामने ये बात करने का कोई फायदा नहीं है, राइट? इट्स अप टू यू. बट नोबडी इज सेइंग कि आपको आइसोलेट होना जरूरी है, बट इट्स ऑल अबाउट कि प्रैक्टिकली हाउ डू वी हैंडल मैनेज अवर कॉन्शियसनेस, up to us what level we want to take it, right? And Krishna is there to help us. If we take a step, then God helps us for sure. This slide I will not go deeper because it depends on what level you are trying to handle the temptations. Okay, it can be different level and different solutions for different level where you are struggling, right? For somebody who is not struggling, it's okay, but if there's a struggle, then it's good. There should be a struggle basically, because this material life and devotional life, definitely there will always be a struggle, and the need is there to help, to seek help. Okay.
What does second line mean?
uh,
Devotee in the world, not of.
मतलब नॉट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड मीन्स लाइक यू नो कि अरे सब छोड़ के दुनिया में साधु बन जाऊंगा, राइट? डिवोटी इन द वर्ल्ड इज लाइक दैट, राइट? समबडी, ठीक है, मतलब है ना, इसी दुनिया में के लोग हैं हम, तो ऑफ कोर्स देयर विल बी अ स्ट्रगल if we do it like that, right? You know, so then that is the place where help is needed, that is the place where we should seek spiritual guidance. Okay, कि मेरा ये real problem है, I am trying to do this and I am struggling. Most of the people, or all the people, or 99.9% of the people never come up with these kind of questions. They will ask questions like, oh इस scriptures में ऐसा लिखा, वैसा क्यों लिखा, या फिर whatever आप ऐसा बोल रहे हो, ऐसा क्यों नहीं, वगैरह वगैरह, राइट? बट कोई ऐसा नहीं पूछता कि मैं ये प्रैक्टिस करने गया और मुझे ये स्ट्रगल आ रही है, राइट? और मैं क्या करूं अभी? हार्डली आई मीट वेरी 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 रेयर पीपल who come back with their problems, right? And that is the kind of question to be asked actually, because it's all about now I am trying to practice this, I am not able to do it, what should I do? And that is when you become better, right? I am trying to chant like you were saying, right? But I am thinking about, like, lot of thoughts come in the mind when I try to focus. Now that's a real problem, and there's a real answer to it. If somebody asks, I can answer, I can help, I can tell practical tips of how to handle that, just that we don't ask, right? So yeah, so it's important, I mean, like that we try, we struggle, we ask, and we become better. So the last section, I know it's lot of things, but डेली लाइफ में डिवोशन मतलब क्या? क्योंकि हमने बहुत सारा डिवोशन 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 बोला. व्हाट डज इट मीन, राइट? इट मीन सिंपल थिंग्स, राइट? द फर्स्ट थिंग, द फाउंडेशन इज साधना, एज आई सेड अर्लियर कि ठीक है, इवन दो वी शुड हैव द राइट कॉन्शियसनेस, बट द बेसिस इज साधना, राइट? कि अगर डेली चैंटिंग, डेली सम हियरिंग सम थिंग्स, रीडिंग सम गुड स्क्रिप्चर इज नॉन निगोशिएबल फॉर अस, राइट? नो मैटर व्हाट हैपेंस, है ना? क्योंकि भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर, द एग्जाम्पल वी सॉ ना, that person has lot of kids, he had a wife, he had so many things, right? He must be having similar struggle there like us, or maybe more also, because he was in a very high position than us, he was also having many more kids than us, must be having lot of things, right? किसी की तबीयत खराब होती होगी, किसी की शादी हो रही है, किसी के बच्चे हो रहे हैं, कुछ कुछ तो चल रहा होगा लाइफ में, right? But he never negotiated with his sadhana. You can also take it more like that, right? खाना खाने के लिए तो negotiation नहीं होता है, right? तो क्यों फिर ऐसा like that, right? So sadhana is of course because it comes from the level of soul, right? It's all about हम as a soul मुझे कुछ करना है अच्छा, so then I'll do something, right? And morning hours if possible just protect it for Krishna, right? कि ये भगवान के लिए morning hours मैं भगवान को दूंगा, मतलब I will do some chanting, I will do some arati, whatever I am doing, whatever I have to do, right? And then comes the weekend time, right? Where we go to temple, we go to our center, there is a community and there is a purification that happens because we get to meet some devotees and things like that, right? And weekend satsanga basically recharges us for the entire week, right? So but if we are doing that the daily thing, तो फिर weekend satsanga helps us, राइट? अभी कोई बोलेगा कि मैं क्या करूं, लेकिन मेरे पास ना टाइम नहीं होता ये सब हियरिंग का वगैरह वगैरह, रीडिंग जो आप बता रहे हो, राइट? क्योंकि इतना टाइम नहीं है। चल ठीक है, आप बोल रहे हो एक माला कर लो, दो माला कर लो, वो तो कर भी लेंगे किसी तरह रात दिन में, बट अभी हियरिंग भी करना है, रीडिंग भी करना है, थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया, राइट? उसके भी सॉल्यूशंस हैं एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिकली, ओके? सॉल्यूशंस ऐसा है कि देर आर सो मेनी एप्स अवेलेबल इन प्ले स्टोर एंड वट एवर स्टोर, ठीक है, जो कि ना आप लगा के सुन सकते हो आराम से। देर आर सो मेनी कंटेंट अवेलेबल ऑन द इंटरनेट। अगर आप इसको एक साइट है जैसे audio.iskonDesiretree.com, ओके, आप वहां पे जाओगे ना तो वहां पर हजारों हजार लेक्चर्स पड़े हुए हैं, इतने पड़े हुए हैं कि आप मे बी 30-40 ईयर्स तक सुनोगे लगातार तो भी खत्म नहीं होंगे, ठीक है? और देर आर सीरीज ऑफ लेक्चर्स दैट आर अवेलेबल देयर, लाइक मोस्टली लाइक सीरीज लाइक वट एवर यू कैन थिंक ऑफ देम, लाइक स्पेसिफिक पर्सन लाइक रामानुजाचार्य पे सीरीज है, specific things like humility, whatever different topics, there are series of lectures. आप उसको डाउनलोड करके रख लो, सुनते रहो, राइट? हेडफोन अपनी जेब में रखो, जब बाहर जाते हैं, कहीं जाते हैं, ठीक है, ड्राइव कर रहे हैं, सब्जी खरीद रहे हैं, whatever we are doing, कुकिंग कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, चलो सुनते हैं बैठ के, राइट? कुछ अच्छी चीजें बीच बीच में जाती जाएंगी कान में, and you'll have a good consciousness as things are going on, right? So Krishna is just accessible, right? अगर हम practically सोचेंगे कि हम कैसे करें तो देयर इज लाइक होल डे वी कैन स्पिरिचुअलाइज इट। अगर आप ट्रैफिक में फंसे हुए हो और आप हेडफोन लगा के लेक्चर सुन रहे हो तो देन यूल बी नॉट फील फ्रस्ट्रेटेड, राइट? कि ठीक है यार, चलो 10 मिनट और लग जाएंगे, एक लेक्चर खत्म हो जाएगा अपना, इसमें क्या है, लाइक दैट। एंड एवरी डे इफ इट टेक्स लाइक 45 मिनट्स फॉर यू टू रीच ऑफिस, देन फाइन, 1.5 hours ऑफ हियरिंग आई एम डूइंग, मुझे उसके लिए कोई एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट नहीं करनी पड़ती है, राइट? So that way we can manage our spiritual life. It is just a matter of we thinking of it in the right mindset. If we give it a priority, then we'll be able to easily do it. Just that, है ना, we don't take it so seriously. And then not to be ignored is the family. Okay, because we say ना कि A is for association. अब association यानी भक्तों का संग लेने के लिए हम कहीं जाते हैं, कुछ करते हैं, बट अगर हम हस्बैंड वाइफ बच्चे सभी भक्त हैं, हमारे माँ बाप वगैरह सभी लोग, राइट? तो देन नेचुरली हमें वो भी भक्त है और उनका संग भी भक्तों का संग है। इट इज ऑल्सो एसोसिएशन, राइट? मेनी थिंग्स कैन बी डन, आई मीन इफ पॉसिबल, एडवांस थिंग्स लाइक कीर्तन्स कैन बी डन टुगेदर, प्रसादम कुकिंग इज हैपनिंग, होम इज लाइक अ टेम्पल देन, राइट? You can discuss devotional things together. Variety of things can happen if you are in a family where everybody is a devotee or somebody is a devotee, right? And that opportunity can also be used as grahastha to practice. Right? So if we do it like that ना, then it will not be, the way will not be like कि संडे आया तो थोड़ा सा अप आया, फिर बाद में डिप आ गया और फिर ऐसे हो गया। अगर if you do it like constantly, then you can maintain that consciousness throughout the week, right? So in summary, it's all about these things are not rivals, right? They are like allies. I mean, if you think of them all as together, then there is no 3 balls, there is only 1 ball, right? Which is my devotional, professional, personal life, one life, right? And integration is the goal, right? It's not about isolating. Okay, so yeah, basically you don't have to leave things, choose things, you just have to align with it with the right mindset. इतना ही है। Anyways, that's all I had to discuss. कोई क्वेश्चन है तो बताइए। Was it useful? बहुत लंबा हो गया, बहुत बेकार हो गया, पता नहीं क्या सोच रहे हैं। Was it practical?
Very practical.
Okay, yeah. So anyways, if there are questions we can talk, otherwise it's okay. Any thoughts? मतलब प्रैक्टिकल सी इफ यू थिंक अबाउट योर लाइफ ना कि क्यों नहीं कर पाते हैं अच्छे से, why am I not able to practice, why am I not able to come to these classes or do whatever or do XYZ, we can discuss that. See, all of us have problem honestly na, koi bhi, I started from Srila Prabhupada, right? I mean, like everybody has problem, that area not many people know or talk about, right? He was also a normal family man, right? People talk about him as acharya, as a author, as a person who built so many temples and transformed so many people, but he was able to do all of that because he was entire life he was doing that sadhana, right? You may want to do that kind of a transformation for people, or you may not want to do that, that is your call, but more important is at least we have to transform ourselves, right? So that we can get out of this world, right? And if you transform yourself, then people naturally around you will get transformed by being with you. Okay, that is the quality of a Vaishnava, basically, that just by being with him the people get transformed, right? So don't need to do any endeavor. He went to West, we don't go to West, still we may be able to do that. That's not the primary purpose. We are not Jesus Christ, right? You don't think about like, oh, I'll transform everybody. Not everybody thinks like that, right? But even at least I have to do something about myself, if nothing, right? But it's easy, it's not difficult, I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It requires some fundamental changes in life. We are not ready to do those. We are not ready to take away our TV. We are not ready to bring an altar at home. We are not ready to think that, okay, I will cook bhoga and I'll offer to God, right? But trust me, Rigveda says, every scripture says that otherwise there is no way for a grahastha to get out of this world. Because when you do the mopping, you are actually killing insects. When you're trying to wash the vegetables, you are killing insects or somebody or something, some kind of, when you are bargaining with somebody, you are still doing a sin. Okay, this verse comes from Vedas, right? So for there are 5 type of sins described: living like a family man. Okay, and they say ki these sins are going to be there. So as a family man, there is no way to escape. But scriptures say that you can escape all of that if you connect it to God, right? So, anyways, everybody is quiet. I mean, I don't know.
It is very practical. It is practical, but we, like you said, no, we don't ask, we don't seek help.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, because see, let's not. I mean, the it's not about ठीक है, verses सुनेंगे, भगवत गीता सुन लिया, कुछ हो गया. It will help, but it will not help if we don't do these things also. If you don't do these things now, if your sadhana is not there na, then it will only marginally help to hear this theory. Okay, theory बहुत अच्छा है, but वो बाद में ना अटकता नहीं है, right? I'm a soul, I have to go to Vaikuntha, there's God, there XYZ वगैरह वगैरह, right? So it will not work very well. You have to do something, some efforts for that, to actually take some benefit out of this whole process. Yes, I'll close the streaming. Hare Krishna.